Alright, ladies and welcome to the first episode of Fuck the Odds. We don't look at the odds here. I'm specifically comparing the fighters to see who wins. I have absolutely know what the odds are. Obviously, I'm Funish from Funish Sports, and yeah, let's get into it. Okay, obviously UFC Fight Night, Matheus Nicolau versus Alex Perez. For our first fight, we got Tim Means versus Euros Medic. Now, Tim Means, 2-3 in his last 5 fights. Euros Medic, 3-2 in his last fights. Tim Means, obviously a lot older in age. Oh my gosh, I just clicked on Discord. Tim Means, this guy's getting up there in age. 40 years old. Holy shit. But still not bad. Beating Andre Fajalo, who has not looked great recently. But Andre Fajalo was pretty decent at one point. Obviously lost to Alex Morono. Max Griffin by split. Close fight. Kevin Holland kind of kicked his ass, I can't lie. Kevin Holland's kind of a monster at 170, though. That's a tough fight, man. But beating Nicholas Dalby. This guy beat Mac Perry. Those are huge wins. But getting up there in age, I don't think Tim Means is a great striker. I think that's going to ultimately be his downfall this fight. He needs to get this fight to the ground. But let's look at Euros Mech, who is obviously 31. We have a 9-year advantage. Jesus. But Euros Mech, way less fights, way less experience. I think Tim Means actually has 4 times the amount of fights as Euros Medic. But I think Euros Medic, if he can stay on the feet, obviously got neck cranked his last fight. Bad way to lose. But this guy looked fantastic against Matheus obviously putting him down, finish him. Slightly early stoppage, but no biggie. Omar Marias, also not a bad fighter. Obviously not in the UFC anymore, but yeah. I think Euros. How I see this fight playing out, I got Euros Mech. Probably piecing him up the first 2 rounds. Maybe getting a little bit gassed by that 3rd round. Maybe Tim Means takes him down, subs his ass, but I doubt it. I think Euros Medic gets it done. We go the results. I got Euros Medic by decision. I don't think he's going to finish Tim Means. Tim Means rarely gets KO'd. And yeah, on to the next fight. The next fight, Jonathan Pierce versus David Onama. This is a sick-ass fight. 2 young studs. Jonathan Pierce 4-1 in his last 5. David Onama 3-2 in his last 5. Coming off some tough losses, though. Now, if we look at David Onama, his Tapology. Obviously 29 years old. This guy's young, man. The silent assassin. 11-2. Super tough loss against Nate Landwehr. Close fight, decision, majority decision. I think Nate Landwehr won that fight clearly, but whatever. We all know the fucking judges in the UFC. They're terrible. Yeah, David Onama's game. Keep the fight on the feet. Super good striker. Hopefully doesn't gas out. He's carrying a lot of weight. I think he probably cuts a lot of weight. What this guy's fighting at. This guy's a featherweight? Holy shit. Do you guys see this, man? This guy is not a featherweight. Okay, anyways, though. I don't know how I didn't know that. Yeah, this guy's a feather. This guy's fighting at 145. Holy shit. Huge for the division. Super heavy hands. Could knock out JSP, but when we're looking at JSP's side, I think JSP is a really good wrestler. Probably can take down David Onama. Has fight pretty good competition in the UFC. Obviously coming off a loss. But he got caught. Ninja chokes, super hard to hit in the UFC. He got caught, but before that, he's decisioning Darren Elkins. That guy's impossible to put down, as we all know. Makwan Americani, ground and pounded him, dominated that fight on the ground, and beat Christian Rodriguez, who I think is actually, I thought he was really good. Obviously finished the 17-year-old kid. Yeah, Christian Rodriguez, super good guy coming up. Beat Raul Rosas Jr., who we all thought was going to be a stud. Clearly we were wrong. This guy was in Bellator beforehand, though. Was he? Yep, obviously came from Bellator. Then went to LFA, but been finishing people, and JSP was able to beat this guy. So that's a pretty big win for JSP. I think he more or less implement the same game plan he always has. Probably going to take down David Onama for 3 rounds. For my prediction for this fight, I got JSP probably by decision. David Onama could TKO him. I doubt it. Or David Onama is going to put his lights out. But let's get on to the next fight. Austin Lane versus Jonata Deniz. Now, Austin Lane, way better than I thought he was. 3-1-1 in his last 5. That's pretty good. Versus the undefeated Jonata Deniz. Let's pull up the Tapology. Let's take a look at Austin Lane first. This guy's 12-4. That's a really good record. He's 36 years old, though. Getting a little bit up there. Obviously coming off a KO loss against Justin Tafa. As we're getting another ad. And, yeah. Obviously coming off that KO loss against Justin Tafa. I think Austin Lane is a very good fighter against anyone who is not UFC caliber. Obviously beating all these guys. Combat Night, Fury, FC. Beat these guys who aren't UFC caliber. Round 1 KO. Round 4, he's gone 4 rounds. That's pretty good. Round 1 KO, like starching these guys. But then as soon as he goes against people who went to the UFC, Greg Hardy, fought Justin Tafa, anyone with heavy hands, kind of his kryptonite. And that's where we get to Jonata Deniz, who makes Adesanya scared. This guy is a heavyweight kickboxer. Super good, super heavy hands, super good kicks, super good knees. The list goes on. This guy's amazing. It's kind of Austin Lane's kryptonite, I can't lie. This guy's got heavy hands. He's obviously undefeated. Hasn't fought the best competition. Starched Eduardo Neves on the Contender Series, but that's Contender Series. This is his first fight in the UFC. Austin Lane has slightly more experience than this guy, but I think this is a tailor-made match to promote Jonata Deniz. That's why, for my prediction, we're obviously going with Jonata Deniz by KO. Not a super hard pick. Maybe Austin Lane. Maybe this guy's got bad cardio, though. Come from kickboxing. They usually got good cardio. I think it's a bad matchup. Anyways, we got the one and only girl fight on the main card. We got Ariana Lipski versus Karine Silva. Ariana Lipski, 4-1 in her last 5, versus Karine Silva, who is 5-0 in her last 5. Let's look at Ariana Lipski first. Ariana Lipski, Queen of Violence, lives up to the name most of the time. Yeah, she is coming off 3 consecutive wins. Casey O'Neill, that's a good win. Melissa Gatto, also a good win. Lost to Tracy Cortez, that sucks. And JJ Aldrich. So, not the best. I think Casey O'Neill talks more than she is good, but she's definitely not bad. But she did get KO'd by Priscilla Koshera, who's also not good, but has super heavy hands. So, I remember that fight. She caught her in that first round, TKO'd her. Yeah. One thing you see a lot with Casey O'Neill, she's not getting subbed. I don't even know if she has a sub loss. She has no sub losses. But I feel she gets TKO'd a lot. She gets held down. Antonia Shevchenko TKO'd her. That is Montana De La Rosa TKO'd her. These are not good looks, man. And especially against a girl like Karine Silva, who is a monster on the ground. This girl has 8 wins by TKO and 9 by submission. This girl is a finisher. She has no wins by decision. This girl is coming in there to finish you. Marina Moroz, huge test for her, the Iron Lady. Finished her in the first round. Caitlin Souza, also a good fighter. Finished her in the first round by knee bar. Paulina Batilla, never heard of that name. Finished her in the first round. Don't really know this person either. Finished her in the second round. This girl is a finisher. She's on 8-fight win streak. I think it's going to be more of the same. I don't think she's going to sub Ariana Lipski. I think Lipski's good enough to not get subbed, but I do see for my prediction, we got Karine Silva by TKO Probably going to hold her down. TKO her on the ground. Maybe get a knockout. I doubt it. I got TKO. Next fight. I think this brings us on to our co-main event. This is an awesome fight. Ryan Spann, not looking stellar as of late, versus Bogdan Guskov. Ryan Spann 2-3 in his last 5. Bogdan Guskov 4-1 in his last 5. Let's go check out Tapology. Ryan Spann. This guy has been fighting way tougher competition. Obviously, Ryan Spann, 32 years old. That's still pretty young. This guy's got the skills, man, but he's been fighting good guys. Anthony Smith, that was a good fight. I think Ryan Spann gassed out in that fight. I'm pretty sure he almost finished Anthony Smith in the first round, but then gassed himself out. Anthony Smith wins a close split decision. Nikita Krylov, super good fighter, triangle choked Ryan Spann. Dominic Reyes, though, used to be pretty good, fought for the title. Got knocked out. He has no chin now, but, still knocked him out in the first round. On Kutalaba. Ryan Spann has a sick guillotine choke. This guy is actually a pretty big submission threat with his arms. I don't know if he's pulling off any triangles anytime soon, but this guy can sub you with his arms. Obviously had another loss to Anthony Smith. This is when Anthony Smith was sane and wasn't talking about people breaking into his house and shit. But anyways, knocked out Misha Serkinov. Also not surprising, has no chin. But yeah, he's been pretty good. Lost to Johnny Walker, super good. This guy's only lost to the best of the best. Anthony Smith is still, I think he's still a top 10 light heavyweight, if not top 15 for sure. Nikita Krylov, top 10. Johnny Walker, I think might be top 5 now. Super good wins. He did almost lose to Sam Alvey. Let's not talk about that. But yeah, let's go check out Bogdan Guskov. Bogdan Guskov. Fighting Ryan Spann. Pretty sure the fight card actually has already started, but I'm only doing the main card. This is my first video ever. Beat Zach Paga. That was an epic knockout. This guy has heavy hands, but Volkan Ozdemir, I think they were trying to boost him up, boost him with a big name way too early. Volkan hasn't been as good as of late, trying to give this guy the fight, and he gets rear naked choked in the first round. But this guy, very good. KO. Look at this. Zach Paga KO. Carlos KO. Oh. Whoops. However you say this name, KO. Ground and pound. Finish. Round 1. Round 1 finish. Round 1 loss. Let's not talk about that. This guy's super experienced, though. Finish. But that gets me on to my point. I think they're trying to boost him with a big name. Ryan Spann's obviously coming off a few losses. But Ryan Spann has the experience factor. I actually think Ryan Spann probably is going to get to the ground. And for my prediction for this fight, I think he's going to knock him down. I got Ryan Spann by submission. More experience. I don't think Bogdan has the experience to keep up with Ryan Spann. But totally could catch Ryan Spann, knock his ass out. But I doubt it. Give me Ryan Spann by submission. Which then takes us to the main event of the evening. Matheus Nicolau versus Alex Perez. Matheus Nicolau, 4-1, coming off a loss. Versus Alex Perez, also maybe coming off more than one loss. He just lost to Muhammad Makayev, but let's take a look at Matheus Nicolau. This guy is the shit. 31 years old, from Brazil, fighting in the flyweight division. So, obviously, was looking stellar. How big of a win streak was this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 fight win streak before catching a knee to the face and getting KO'd by Brandon Royval. Brandon Royval, though, looking like a stud lately, piecing up Brandon Moreno. Brandon Moreno looked like ass that fight, though, but still didn't lose to a bum. Brandon Royval, very good. Beat Matt Schnell. Everyone beats Matt Schnell. Beat Dave Dvorak. Also just okay. Beat Tim Elliott. That's a pretty good win. Tim Elliott gives people good fights. And also beat Manel Kape, who has been a stud lately. Saying some pretty controversial things, but still. Beat Felipe, not sure. Beat Allen. Still good fights. These guys all have great records. This guy is a great wrestler. Huge submission threat. Obviously has 5 wins by KO, 5 by submission. Been KO'd 3 times, so maybe his chin's a little bit in question, especially after catching that knee to the face. But I'm pretty sure that's his first. No, he has. He's lost twice by KO in the UFC, so. Anyways, let's move on to Alex Perez, who has not looked as great as of late. this is a kind of a this is just a fight night card. Obviously, they got to throw two fighters together, but ranked number 11. I think they're trying to get Matheus Nicolau another win to get back on the winning track. But obviously, lost to Muhammad Makayev, who's very good. I think will fight for the title very soon, maybe after one more win if it's actually impressive. Got subbed by Alex Pantoja. Got subbed by Figueiredo. This guy just has trouble. Like 3 fights in the last 3 years. This guy has problems getting fights, man. Last 4 years. 2024, 2022, like 2-year layoff. That's insane. Then he had a 2-year layoff before that. Like, this guy just needs fights, man. He was looking good. This guy had wins over Mark De La Rosa, Jordan Espinoza, all guys pretty good records. This guy 11-1 for sure. This guy's still in the UFC? Probably not. Yeah, he just came off a loss. Anyways, yeah, I think Alex Perez might be a little bit past his prime. He is 32 years old. That's not even that old, but I think Matheus, I think they're trying to give him a win. My prediction for the fight, give me Matheus Nicolau by submission. I think he's just going to take Alex Perez down. I don't think it's going to be a first round. It might be a little bit competitive, but once he gets tired, Alex Perez, been known to get subbed. Got subbed by Figgy. Didn't get subbed by Mokaev, but Mokaev, I can't tell if he's good or not. He's good sometimes. But yeah, give me Matheus Nicolau by submission. Obviously, I'd like to give a shout out to Sherdog for I took their photos, and Tapology for providing me with all the results. Thank you all for watching, and remember to like and subscribe. Check out my Instagram, Funnish Sports on Instagram, obviously, and yeah, I'm now going to end the stream.